Welcome, you beautiful collectors out there in Collectorville. No, I'm just being a smartass about somebody I know. But anyway, this is Mike with the Angry Mike Show. Just another G.I. Joe show. I'm joined by one of my friends, Josh. Josh will be here. This is Dalton. Josh says he's coming, so we'll see if that happens or not. Dalton, for people who don't know you, tell them where they can find you at social media-wise.
You can pretty much find me everywhere at Daltinians TFs.
All right. As y'all can see in the title, it's a pretty simplish title this time. We're kind of going to talk about some run-ins with eBay buyers and sellers. Also, I'm going to talk about a story that actually happened this past week on Facebook about an administrator who isn't really an administrator, who wants to bash a seller, but not show no proof on why he wants to bash said seller. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then we will also talk about the newest word I've come up with, fake fans. I ran into another individual, guess where? On Facebook, who wanted to tell me how things really were and that I was wrong, and everyone else who said the same thing I was saying, they were wrong, but everything he said was right. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the eBay thing real quick. I was a buyer, and when you bid on an item, and it ends, you're given 48 hours to, basically pay for that item, and then in return, the seller has 48 hours to ship it and give you a tracking label. And okay, Josh, tell people where they can find you at.
G1 Hexatron on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook pages, the G1 Hexatron.
All right, cool. I just started literally like not even 30 seconds ago, but I'm talking about my run-in on eBay with a buyer where I bid it on the item like 2 or 3 days before it ended. And so it came up, I won the item. And at the time, I just wasn't thinking of it.
So he was the seller. He was the seller.
Correct. He was the seller. He sent me a notification to remind me of payment. I paid it that next morning, and then a day went by. And usually I just, I get maybe a day and a half, and I said, hey, I just wanted to see if I can get that tracking number from you. And he says it's uploaded, blah, blah, blah. And then it got to the point of, how did it go? I'm going to find it real quick. Messages. And anyways, and I had said, he said it was in the system. It's on its way, is basically what he was saying. And I said, okay, well, and he goes, yeah, it's on its way, blah, blah. And I said, well, look, I checked the, he's like, I already put it in the mailbox. It's on its way. It's on its way. And so I checked the tracking. It shows the label been created through eBay. And so I checked it through the USPS system. Says the same thing. And I told him the next morning, I'm like, hey, it's not in the system yet. Is there something wrong with the tracking number? And he was like, no, I haven't mailed it yet. Well, then why'd you say you mailed it? Well, for starters, you took more than 2 days to pay me, so you can wait a couple more days before I send it out. Now, granted, I didn't really agree with what he was saying because I'm like, well, you told me you shipped it, so you're lying to me.
Because most of my transactions on eBay have been me buying, and then I've done some mass sales before. So I've bought and sold, as probably most people have. If I was a seller, that's probably not, even if that's the way I felt, that's not something that I'm going to say, because I think we're starting off pretty bad right there, because it looks like I'm taking an aggressive approach with the buyer at the very beginning. Since you took a couple of days and you're just going to wait, it's just kind of my 2 cents.
Right, and the reason for waiting was that, when you purchase buy it now, they usually don't give you an option. You have to pay right then and there for the item.
I always do that.
And granted, did I forget? Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. I did forget, but I still paid. But he just threw it up in my face that you're like, well, hey, you know what? You took 2 days to pay, so you're you're just going to wait till I ship it. And of course, at that point, I told him right after that, I'm like, well, guess what? I don't care, how good of a seller you are or how good the item is. I'm like, you're getting a negative feedback. And he did. I gave him negative feedback. I really did. And I really didn't care whether I was right or wrong, but it was the point of what he said, the way he said it. If you don't agree with what I did, then just lie to me and say, oh, hey, you know what? I forgot to put that in the mail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, as a seller, like, even if you feel a certain way, like, if that's the way how he felt, he didn't have to say that to you. He'd just be like, yeah, regardless, hey, I apologize. Look, I'm going to get it in there as soon as I can,
Right.
And it could have all been solved right there. I know that whenever I sell something, I put in there is like, I usually ship within like 48 hours. Now I did sell some stuff because recently, like, I had to get my transmission replaced. So I put on there like, the only day that I can ship is on Saturday. Like, that was in there.
Right.
Because like all the rest of the days, like, I don't have a car, and I was having people to take me to work, which I work at night, and then they work during the day when the post office was open. So I didn't have any way to ship it, but I knew whenever I got off on Saturday morning, the post office would be open, for a few hours, and I could ship it then. So I let people know, and even though I had it in the description, whenever they bought it, I messaged them, was like, hey, I'll have this out for you Saturday, and I'll give you the tracking and stuff. And then, pretty much every single one of them was pretty cool about it. One, like, I had already shipped it off, and then a couple hours later, they were like, hey, can I cancel this? And I'm like, well, dude, it's already in the mail. So,
and speaking of that real quick, whatever happened with that situation, because I know the story, was that he said he wanted to cancel it because his mother found the item somewhere else?
His mother found the item, he said the exact same thing for, I guess, his son. So, the kid's grandmother. And I'm like, look, man, I already, shipped this. And, like, the whole reason, and he was like, well, can I, return it? Well, I think the shipping that I paid, because I was paying for the shipping, it was like $30, $35 or something like that to ship. And even if he like, because it was $150 somewhere around there item.
Yeah, well, it was $150. I remember it.
Yeah, so because at that point I was paying for the transmission, I had already got that money that I had sold some things for, and I had already put that down on my transmission as soon as I took the cash out immediately, and I paid for it so that they would start working on my transmission. And it was like, yeah, can I refund? I'm like, dude, I don't even have the money to refund you even if I wanted to. But I paid $35 to ship it. You'd have to pay $35 for it back, plus eBay fees. Like, we're already looking at $70. It was $100. I mean, you're better off, trying to sell one of the ones that you have, But, like, I didn't do returns or anything. And so he just kind of was like, well, karma's for real, it's like, look, like, I didn't get aggressive with him. And I wouldn't say that he got aggressive with me, or he or she, I don't know what it was, but I wouldn't say that they got aggressive with me either. It was just, that sucks. But you did buy this, you did pay for it, and I did ship it, whenever I told you I was going to ship it. Right. And, this is kind of where we're at. Because there's been a lot of times where I've bought something off eBay, and then as soon as I do, I'm like, oh, that's a much better deal. Case in point, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set of the NECA Turtles. I bought those secondary, where someone had basically was able to buy it off the NECA website, so it wasn't available to ship right then. It shipped, I don't know, like a month or so later. And I actually paid $270 for a $100 set, that retailed for $100. I paid $270 for it because I really wanted it. Well, it was just a few weeks later that NECA was like, oh yeah, that set that was an exclusive that you're only going to be able to get it at the show. They're going to be GameStop exclusives, and you can pick them up for $22 a piece. Like, I was able to pick up all 4 of them. And, that's what I did. Is I picked up, I sold that back again, I didn't call the eBay seller and be like, yo, since you haven't shipped it yet, hey, can you cancel my order and refund me the $270 because I'm just going to buy the GameStop exclusives? No, I honored our agreement. I had paid them. I was just waiting for it to be shipped to me. I never opened it. I resold it, and I bought these, so it all worked out. I don't think I lost. I think I sold it for $270 as well, so I didn't lose any money on it.
Right. And it's pronounced not he or she, it's ma'am.
Yeah.
So again, since you mentioned the Masterpiece Prom, you had another item which I thought this was actually hilarious. It was was it one of the NECA turtles you sold that someone complained about because apparently he just could not read or understand?
Yeah, I took pictures of it because I took the first initial picture. If you just look at the first picture, it has the figure in the box. But then you look, and I take all four sides pictures of the figure in the box. Then because I had opened the figure and put him on a shelf, I never even messed with him or played with him or anything like that. It just sat there on the shelf. And so because it was open, I took pictures of it outside of the box, so you can clearly see that it's open. And I put on there like, hey, it's new. And then I put on there that I clicked that, hey, it is open, but with box, and took pictures of it out of the box. I even put in there, this has never been played with, haven't even posed it. It's just been sitting on the shelf. I opened the tape, took it out of the box, put it on the shelf, put it back in the box a few weeks later. And then, there it's set because I knew that I didn't want to collect the quarter scale stuff. That I wanted to get into the 6-inch line because that's what I originally wanted. Mm-hmm. And even in the description is like, hey, he's open, never been posed or messed with. Everything is super tight. And then he told me, he replied to me, he was like, I want a full refund because this is open. It's not brand new. I'm like, well, of course it's open. I took pictures of the figure with it out of the box. And then also it says that it's opened with box, and I even said like, hey, it's never been played with and stuff like that, and all the joints are tight. How would I have that information if it was sealed in the box? So
yeah, I remember. It's kind of like that bit me in the rear end one time years ago. It was a Transformers. It was an Ironhide. I think it was from Armada, the little blue Jeep. Dalton, which one's that?
Oh, yeah, the Energon.
Energon. And it had never been taken out of the package, but the tape was broken on it. And I had listed it as a new product. And when the seller got it, or the buyer got it, he said something to me about it being open. I was like, well, it's still new. I said, it's never been taken out of the package or untied or nothing. And he filed an eBay claim on it. And he won because of my miswording on the auction. Even though
you didn't say in sealed package, though, did you?
I don't believe I did. I just said new in box. Matter of fact, no, you're right. I didn't. I said MOC or MOB or mint in box. I said not mint in sealed box. I did not say that. And I told him that. And then, of course, he still argued that, well, I don't know what that abbreviation even means. If you're a collector, you should know what that abbreviation means. Or at least
that's like collecting 101.
If you're a sealed in-box collector, then you know what MISB means.
You would think, yeah. So, Dalton, you had mentioned how you had a little story to tell.
Yeah, I mean, not quite. I don't think it's quite as bad, but well, I guess I got a couple. One was had a couple of items up on eBay. The seller thought it was too high, tried lowballing me. I made a counter offer that was, I'd say, fair between the two prices, between my listing and his lowball. He counter offered again, same price.
Oh, yeah.
I counter offered again, my same price. Kept going back and forth.
I would have been done after that first time.
After the second time, I told him, look, I am not willing to sell than what I'm giving you right now. If you make another counter offer again, I will block you.
I just start
And of
declining them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've declined it and gave him a reason why.
Here's
But,
something that I have a problem with eBay that I found out. It's because whenever I went and listed everything, it's like, hey, do you want, we suggest this price. I'm like, well, I don't really care what you suggest. I've done my research and this is what I'm going to put it for. And it's usually whenever I list something, it is the cheapest. It's usually like in the top 3 of the cheapest ones on eBay. That way I know it's going to sell. And it's something that I'm comfortable selling it for. And I look at like that exact item. What has it sold for recently? What are the rest of them listed on? So I can make, the best, guess on like what I can sell this for, which is going to be fair for me and fair for the buyer. And then, so it already has checked for you, allowed to make offers. I uncheck every single one of them. I'm like, no, I'm not doing offers. I don't want to be bothered with people sending me emails on like stupid offers. I'm like, look, I've researched this and I believe it's a really good price. And after a week, eBay just goes through and marks the check. Allowed to make offers on all my listings.
Yeah, and I hate that.
And I'm like, so all of a sudden I got 12 emails. I'm like, oh Jesus, people have questions about this, and it's like, no, hey, I want to offer you $60 or something. Yeah, price for like 150, or I'm like, dude, that's not even remotely close. Like if you were like, hey, do you mind like shaving 10 off because there's one like $10 cheaper than yours, and then I'll just buy yours. And yeah, hey, we can do that. But so I had to go through on every single one of my listings and mark it. No, I don't want these marked offer. And I reply to these people. I'm like, look, because again, they're potential buyers, and I don't want to just be like, no, decline. But look, I didn't mark the make an offer, that to be allowed. So I apologize. eBay did it without me saying that I wanted them to. So I'm not taking any offers on it. It's price is marked. And so I got to go through that. eBay, they'll go through and they'll change it. But here recently, 2 weeks, they haven't done it again. So
one of the regular watchers on my show, he a 46 zone. What do you think of the eBay new tax summary help?
I haven't looked at it.
Are they charging us taxes now? Is there something I'm missing, I guess?
I know Amazon is. I didn't hear about eBay doing it.
I think a sport had mentioned it. I think because of his state he lives in. I think
it
might be a state by state. Yeah, here in Arkansas, I know there's no taxes or nothing sent to me to tell me that, hey, you need to start collecting taxes on this. Eventually, I'm sure it'll catch up with all of us, one way or the other.
And at that point, then I'll just pay. It's kind of like the eBay fees. Like, I think my eBay fee is like $180 or something for the last month.
Those are outrageous now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just at the point like, all right, whatever it is, I'll just pay it.
Okay. This next subject, I think is
I've got one more quick story.
All right.
I had someone win a bid on one of my items. Now, usually you'd expect them to pay, next day, maybe within 48 hours. Nothing, not a message, nothing. He doesn't even have any feedback. So I remind him after 48 hours, hey, I'm not sending this unless I see payment. Nothing back. 2 more days go by. Okay, I've reminded you once, if I don't see payment by, the end of 1 week, I'm relisting the item. You're not getting it. I'm not shipping it to you. Nothing.
eBay will automatically relist it too.
It'd been a week. It had been a week and it had relisted. So I was like, all right.
Some of these auctions, I hate to interrupt you, you actually have to click or have your account set up to automatically do that for you. I know me personally, I've gone through there and taken all that off because I want to be able to have control in doing that. But go ahead, Dalton.
But anyways, nothing back. So I was like, all right, I warned you. Then just don't trust any sellers that don't have any feedback is basically what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You should have setting
especially if they
actually
don't
to do
answer the first or second time. Just no.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is not just. I think buyers need to. You think that this is common sense, but while sellers have to do, like, you hold them to a certain standard to where it's got to be a perfect description, you know, and you try to get it as perfect as possible.
Yep.
And while if you're the buyer, you need to make sure you read it. You need to look at all the pictures, you know,
Yep.
Because I've looked at stuff before, and it's something, you know, especially when I was collecting vintage stuff. It was like, I don't. This was, you know, my kids. I found it in the attic, you know, and I don't know if all the pieces are there or not. I do know that, like, just kind of moving it around, the joints are tight. And I looked at the pictures. So I looked at all the pictures. I'm like, the colors look good. You know, it doesn't look like it was from, you know, a smoke home, or it doesn't look like it has sun damage or anything like that. They're telling me the joints are tight. I know from my research that it does have all the accessories, even though they don't know. You know, like, I have to do a little bit of work on my own, because even though they're just like, look, I don't even know what the name of this character is. I just know it's a Transformer, you know. I don't know if it has its accessories, but its joints are tight. I can't transform it for you because I don't know what I'm doing here, you know.
Yep.
To where I have to do a little bit of research on my own to be like, you know what, that does have everything that I want. You know, as long as, like, they're telling me the joints are tight, and I can see that it comes with the pictures, and I can see it's in good condition, you know, I'll move forward with that. But as long as, you know, I'm doing my job as a buyer, as, you know, you expect the seller to be, you know, perfect. You know, you can't, as a buyer, you can't just kind of be like, look at the first picture and be like, oh, it says Donatello, I'm looking for a Donatello, let me click buy. And then when you get it, be like,
it's Leonardo.
This isn't exact, or it is Donatello, but, or even if it was Leonardo, you know, because I mean, blue and, you know, purple, if the person didn't know what they were selling, but be like, oh, this is open, you know. It's like, well, you know, it says like it's open like 3 different times, you know, here, there's pictures of it open, you know. I mean, it's a lot of easy things to realize that it's open. So you kind of have to know what you're buying too. You can't be just completely lazy and start clicking buy on everything.
Right, exactly. This next subject, the next 2 subjects are something that actually happened on Facebook this past week with me. And this, what I'm getting to the point of basically is I'm calling it #FakeFans. And basically, as I know all 3 of us, and I know a lot of people who are watching, we have all dealt with the Collectors Club, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. And the Collectors Club on both sides, they designed the figures, but they were told from Hasbro which characters they can use and which molds they can use, and whether they can do that or not, what they shoot them. After that, Hasbro has no discussion, no nothing after that. Is my understanding. It's the way it's always been. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right?
I believe so. I think Dakota would know more.
Because I've talked with Pete, and then you talk with Jesse, and with my conversation with them, they're like, look, we come out with these things, and we're like, here, like, they have a couple of different ideas, and they're like, this would be a cool box set. These things would tie in together. Here's another idea. These things would tie in together. And so with their first choice, they go up to there, and then Hasbro's just like, oh, actually, that would be a good idea. You know what? We're actually wanting to do two of those. So you can't do those 2 characters, you know. And then they're like, okay, well, then that box set might be scrapped, you know, because those 2 characters really worked with this box set. And then they go to like option, you know, B, and sometimes it's not until option C. So that's where, you know, I feel like people that enjoy the club stuff or subscription or the BotCon stuff whenever it came out, like, you know, with Dakota, like, they really love everything. Dalton too, you know, they really love it. But you also got to know that those weren't always like their first or even
Choices.
second picks. Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times where they're because I know Jesse, like he's got like a book and it's like, yeah, here's something we wanted to do, here's something we wanted to do.
Oh yeah.
And people are just freaking out over it. They're like, why didn't we ever get this? And it's like, well, you know, it didn't work. Even if we could have used these other characters that you did want, it, you know, the characters that we needed to replace, because Hasbro said no, we're going to do those characters, and sometimes Hasbro even said we're going to do those characters and didn't do them for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
You know? So and then they shut them down on a lot of stuff.
And I think with the point of what I'm getting to is okay, we know that there are steps between the club and Hasbro to decide on what they're going to use figure-wise and character-wise. After that, and they're given the green light, in the Collectors Club, they do all the legwork. They do all the mock-ups, the everything. They send it over to China.
Communicate with the factory.
They do all that. They deal with every single bit of that aspect. And then they bring the product over, they ship it out, blah, blah, blah. They deal with the returns, the damages, the problems, the lost in mail, everything. Hasbro don't deal with none of that. Here's the thing. On Facebook, I don't remember which group it was, I remember taking screenshots of the conversation with this asshat. He said the picture was, it was a Hollow Point, which was a FSS 13th mystery figure from the last one. And apparently on the nose and the front of the face, there was some blue paint smudged on it. And the guy had just said something. It ended up being like he was just talking about it. And he wasn't expecting more than two people to get into an argument over it. And so I quoted, well, then you need to reach out to the seller or to the Collectors Club and see about swapping it out, because that's the Collectors Club issue. If there's paint and it's still in the package, never been opened, and this one guy comes in here, and then of course I wasn't the only one who said this. There are 3 or 4 other guys who said this, and this one guy named Corey Thompson is his name, who's the biggest fake fan I've ever seen in my life. He says, people on here make me laugh. Club stuff is still produced and made by Hasbro. How you guys are oblivious to that is beyond me.
Well, no, it's not. It's approved and licensed by Hasbro.
That Brian Savage paid a hefty penny to have said license.
Yeah, so it's not like there's a Hasbro factory that these subscription service figures and exclusives are coming out of, to where Hasbro's like, okay, that's regular retail. Oh, and those things over there, that's going to back to Fun Pub. Like, no, they're using their own factories. Like, they have to, it's got to meet like a certain quality code as well,
right,
to keep that license. So it's not like you could take it to the most junk factory in China and be like, oh yeah, hey, we paid the license to put G.I. Joe on the front of it, but it looks like something you got out of a 50-cent machine in front of the old Toys R Us or something like that.
Right.
Like, it still has to have a certain quality that it's known for. But like, as far as the paint and getting approvals and the colors and all that stuff, it's always been done by
the Collectors Club.
Yeah, the Collectors Club.
And then of course, I said, are you for real? The club does all the work on these figures. The only thing Hasbro does is tell them if they can use the figure or not. And the guy, this went on probably for a good hour on the cell phone. And I was not the only other person who said something to him. There were other people who said that. He told them they were all wrong, that we didn't know what we were talking about. And in the G.I. Joe community, if you're friends with other G.I. Joe enthusiasts who do the club stuff, you're not friends with just 1 or 2. There's probably at least a good 80 people I have in common with that I'm friends with in the G.I. Joe community. And when I looked at this guy's profile, we did not have not one friend in common out of the whole G.I. Joe community, not one friend at all, or any friends for that matter. And he had no pictures whatsoever of anything G.I. Joe related. And I called him out on it about not being, you don't even buy these things. And, oh, well, you're not seeing my whole profile and I do collect blah, blah, blah. Well, show me some pictures of you and G.I. Joe together, because I don't believe you.
Well, besides the point, like I don't post Transformer stuff on my Facebook page because I have a personal Facebook page that's where I post all that stuff. So if
Okay.
you wouldn't know that thing, if you just looked at my Facebook, or for my personal name, because I keep those two things separate. But
it's his personal page now, mind you.
Okay, but you think that if someone was in, let's say a G.I. Joe's subscription group or club or whatever, whatever, I don't know the whole part that he's saying something is fact when it's not fact. When I just said what the facts were, and you did too, where basically Hasbro, all they do is approve stuff and say, yes, you can move forward with that. Then after that, it's out of their hands. They don't mess with it anymore until the next approval for the next year comes along. And they either say yay or nay on those. So you'd think that if someone that if they were like a collector, a serious collector in the subscription service for G.I. Joe and went to JoeCon and stuff like that, then they would at least know those facts. I guarantee you, the past 5 minutes we've been talking about this, how the process works, that I guess that probably 95% of your audience already knows this stuff. They're like, yeah, we all know that already.
Right, they know
Hashtag old news.
Right, but still, you have this one guy who is part of a group who wants to argue, thinking he knows everything about how Hasbro's wheels turn, as he said in here, and how the club works for Hasbro, and how Hasbro pulls all the strings and says and does all the work. The club's just there for pictures.
No, I think a big
for
part
all
of
the face work. I get the politics, I guess you'd say.
I personally think he just likes to argue with people. Like, he knows this. He just wants to get under people's skin.
Justin's right. Says some people are just trolls.
I was just going to say
exactly.
that.
Yeah, he's probably just trolling, and
46.
I can't stand that crap.
What was it? He says, "What was it? That white knight that always posts in the club's favor in their forums." He must be applying for the senior marketing manager position at Hasbro. I kept a few of the screenshots. We went round and round and round for at least a good hour, and he, at the very end, some of these Facebook rants that I get into, they get really, vicious, where, they're like, you're a dumb mother effer, and if I see you in public, I'll beat your effing ass.
I don't even know why you even get that far with these, because I know that if I was talking to someone and it was clear from the beginning, first off, they posted something that they were wanting some help. You give them some advice, and then they say something stupid.
Well, this wasn't the guy who actually asked for the help. This is someone else who commented after me and a couple other guys commented it on what the actual, we had given our answers on, you need to contact the Collectors Club. They'll fix this issue for you. Then he chimes in after all of us.
All right.
But
second part, whenever I come across where I'm trying to be helpful, but it's clear like there's someone else on here that doesn't know what they're talking about, there's no point in arguing with that person because they don't know what they're talking about. They think that they are right, but they are wrong. So you can't even argue with that person.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just keep going because I feel like
you're angry, Mike, and you want to get angry.
It didn't take much to piss me off that day, but it's more the point of I feel like I have to get the last word in edgewise, or if you block them or you stop the discussion, then it makes them feel like they won over you, I guess. In the end, he finally came back in the thread and apologized for all the remarks he said towards us. Because it got nasty, but it's still the point of I kind of wanted to say, well, so are you saying that we're right and you were wrong? But I didn't go that far.
Well, see,
it's probably good.
there's a lot of that with when the Transformers Club was still around. Like, you'd have these people, oh, screw Fun Pub, screw this. They don't know how to do these characters. Oh, it's just repaints. It's like, do you have any of these figures? Do you know anything about the fiction or, what they're able to do? No, I don't collect that crap. Then why are you even commenting on it?
Ooh, we got a little angry Dalton going on here.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not going to collect the thing, why piss and moan about it?
Yeah, you're right.
It's also the other thing that Hasbro did with the Transformers is they said that, okay, we approve these characters. They have to be with like the current style molds. Like we want them with
right at the end. Yeah, that's where.
So even if it was like, okay, we really like these characters, man, they'd be really good for these. Maybe this mold that was 2 years ago, maybe this one that was this year, maybe one that was 3 years ago. No, they all have to be this same thing. So whenever Combiner Wars was out, they all have to be Combiner Wars. When they, before that it had to all be that. Whenever there was probably clearly for at least half of them better mold choices, but Hasbro's like, no, it needs to be current from what we're doing at this time, which also that hurt them too.
Here's a perfect example of one, and this was pointed out to me by Jesse, and I don't understand why they couldn't use it, but they were allowed to use it later on. Take, for example, a Thunderclash from BotCon 2009, which was the Rodimus mold from Cyber or Energon?
Energon, yep.
Energon. Okay, so it's a deluxe size, which Thunderclash is kind of like a Voyager leader class figure. Right. Now, Jesse, he was selling a bunch of custom figures he did, and he sold me one that was a Thunderclash done out of the Generations Optimus Prime, the first one that came out years ago.
The classic. I remember
the
that.
Classic one. And I had said something, oh man, that's a really good figure. Why the hell didn't y'all use this for BotCon? And he tells me this story. He says, this is the reason this figure was customized is because we showed Hasbro, this is what we want to do. This is before they started doing a lot of the you know what I'm talking about, the damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they would do it on the computer. They were using actual figures.
Renders.
The CADs.
Yeah. So this figure here that I bought from Jesse was shown to Hasbro as this is what we want to use. Yeah. And they were like, no, these are your choices. And so they went with the Rodimus. And, even at the end of BotCon, the final BotCon in 2016, the 2017 was already lined up to use Titan's Return. I think Pete had actually told us that on one of the shows, or told us at PeteCon, I think is what he told us that.
Yeah, it was at PeteCon. That's what the grand prize raffle winning was.
Right, and then of course the FSS, and they already had it all lined out. It was just, of course, they couldn't do it no more. Go ahead.
I think I know what you're talking about. The 2016 that was presented, the Beast Wars Uprising.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be originally.
Like the Generations, the Lao Convoy mold.
Yeah, they weren't going to use what they used. They wanted to use something totally different. And then they were told Combiner Wars, and they were like, okay, we can make it work, make it a one big combiner, which I like it. I mean, that's just me, I guess. So.
That's all right.
Sport, you a little quiet. You got any comments on that situation?
Oh, no, I got into it late, so I didn't feel it was right for me to jump in on that.
Do what?
I just didn't feel it was right for me to jump in on that since I got on late.
I do have a question. This was asked. You deal with eBay stuff as well as we do. In your state, is there a eBay tax?
Yeah, and I'm really not happy about that.
Okay, you know what? Tell us about it, because 46 Zone asked us what we thought about eBay's new tax summary.
Well, it's not just eBay. Amazon's hitting me with it too. So it kills a lot of whatever potential deal you could have had for me anyway. But I have to pay 8.8% in addition to whatever the final auction price is.
Now, is that just the auction, or is that auction and shipping, or what?
Yeah, the whole shebang. And I'm not shipping. I think shipping is not included in the tax, but still, if you're paying for $100+ item, or you're paying for something that you want to get a few dollars less from retail, it sort of kills that feeling like you're saving money.
Okay, so basically, if you sell, let's say, a $500 item on eBay, you got to pay the 8 point whatever% tax there is on that $500.
The buyer, I think, pays for it. When you buy something, you're the one paying the tax.
So
the seller doesn't get any. It's not taken
So the
out.
tax goes directly to
The
Right.
yeah, eBay. So the buyer, the seller doesn't have to worry about filing like a tax or anything.
That's my understanding.
Or it'd be a 1099. Yeah, because I didn't have to do. I think it would be a 1099, like you're running a business.
Right.
So that tax money comes out of your money you would have made off that figure.
Right. But I just have a problem with it because, like, a lot of these people on eBay, there are businesses out there that do this stuff on eBay. But if you're buying from a seller who's just selling off his collection, to me, it's like going to a yard sale. You shouldn't have to pay a tax.
I know this because my mom is a state comptroller and she shuts down businesses if they don't pay their taxes.
Right.
So you are allowed to have 2 like yard garage sales a year without collecting tax.
What?
Yeah. If you have more than that, then you have to file for permit and collect taxes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So because more than 2 a year, or at least in Texas, I know, because we're talking about Texas law, but any more than 2, then it's considered you're running a business. So that's the way it is as far as like yard sales and garage sales. Like you can have 2 a year.
Right.
So that's like, again, that's may just be a Texas law. So
I know Arkansas doesn't have that.
You may see this spreading though. That's what.
Well, kind of you also you may not know about it because like I didn't know about it until because my mom deals with taxes.
Right.
That like she told me that. I'm like, okay, because she's always like, are you collecting taxes on eBay when you sell stuff?
Right.
I'm like, nope.
But here's the thing. This is right now voluntary. So eBay volunteered to do this. Amazon chose to do this. There's something that was passed in Congress that says that online retailers can do the tax thing. And only 3 states are doing it as an experiment. That's Washington State, Pennsylvania, and I'm not sure about the third one. But
is it New York? What happened?
No, God, let's talk about New York.
It's either Ohio or
can't believe it's not California.
Or Iowa, I can't remember. But I'm surprised it's not California either. But it does take away. Like I paid $32 for 2 G1 catalogs because I had to pay like $6 tax for it. Dang thing, something ridiculous like that. But maybe not that much. But it just kills the whole thing when you're buying something that's used from a private seller. So
Yeah.
It's really, it's like Josh said, you don't know it until they hit you up on it. It's like me here in Arkansas doing my convention for as many years as I did it. And they hit me up a couple of years ago and come to find out there is this whole section for the state of Arkansas saying that there's event charges and you have to charge the vendor tax. So if you're charging a booth rent of $150, you have to add the 8.5% sales tax to that $150 to get your $150. Then the extra goes to the state. You also have to charge taxes on admission fee. So if I'm charging $10 for a person to get in, I have to take basically that $1 in tax money and pay it to the state. If I do a raffle, anything that collects money, I have to pay taxes on it.
Yeah. I played the ponies one time and won. And if I forget exactly what it was over, if it's over like 500 or something like that, then you what is it?
I think I know here it's $600. You have to say it's federal, so it's $600.
Yeah, it's $600.
I haven't been to the races in a while, but Like I earned just like my winnings was just under enough to where I didn't have to worry about the tax thing. But if you win a certain amount, then you have to. They make you right then before they pay you. They make you fill out this tax form right there. So
Yeah, it's like going to a casino. If you win a certain amount, they take it out right there.
Yeah, they give you something right then and there for that.
Yeah.
The other subject I was going to talk about, it's mentioned on here as it's a Facebook administrative bullies. And for people who are on Facebook, there's all these groups and they all have moderators and administrators. And I won't name the group I'll say the person's name in a way that's not really his name because I was asked not to by the administrative group because they knew I was going to talk about this on the show. I told him, I said, you just given me talking material for this weekend's show. And basically there's a group that was created for administrators of other groups to where they can go in there and say, hey, do you know this guy? He spammed so many people out of my group. Is he in your group doing the same thing?
I was like a blacklist site or a blacklist group.
Kind of, sort of. Well, I mean, I see it more as a informational site.
I can see where that's good. Yeah, because if you do have someone that's completely toxic and because I know
shady.
because I know there's been people that have stole money and done different stuff. But if you have
done trades, right?
Yeah,
and
it's good to have something like that. And then also like, hey, here's how here's a situation I'm dealing with. You guys have had a group longer than I have. What any suggestions? So I can see how that could be positive for them.
Okay, and here's the story. This happened this week as well. We will call him Fuss Garrison. So we'll call him. And he basically, and in this group, you have to be an administrator of another group, and you have to be voted in by the members of the group. When he was asked to be a member of the group, and the people started voting, yeah, I know him, he's good, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be, and I was actually, I think, the only one that said, I can't say yes to him because I don't know who the hell he even is. I've never dealt with him because apparently he deals in other groups that I don't deal with. So I guess that could be good or bad in the same aspect. And he's posted a couple times, and he's only been a member since the end of December. So less than 45 days has always been a member of our group. And let's see if I can find it real quick now. Okay, here it is. He posts this guy's Facebook page, and this guy that he's pulling at, his name is Jonathan Pro Cop or something like that. Anyways, I've talked to the guy a few times. Real cool guy. Okay, and this guy says, who's the administrator, he says overcharged me on shipping and then refused to refund it, as well as being a total dick in the process. Then blocked me. Okay, so in these groups, when you say someone did something, what's the first thing you should really ask for? Where's your proof? Show us proof. Show us conversations. Show us what you're saying is true beyond a shadow of a doubt on why.
Before you go on to the next point, can I just say that whenever I hear that, like, overcharge me on shipping or anything like that, don't you look at the total price? Like, because I remember whenever eBay only charged a fee based on what you sold the item for, so people would put like, oh, this item's only $1, but I'm charging $99 for shipping.
Yeah,
it's basically they wanted $100 for the item shipped. You don't be like, oh, what a great deal, only $1. But Jesus, they're gouging me on shipping. No, it's $100 total. That's whether it's a good deal or a bad deal. So I don't understand the whole gouging on shipping or anything. Like, don't you look at the total price?
Right. Well, and so that's all he said. He put the picture of the guy's profile. No conversations between the two. And I said, did he do any special packaging? No, we live in the same state, 3 hours apart. Shipping is dirt cheap. How much difference was it? Just curious. Not much, but that doesn't matter. He had the opportunity to fix, refuse, got rude and mouthy, and blocked me. I wouldn't do business with someone like that, and I don't recommend him to my friends. The principle is more important than the amount. Now, grant you, this thread got shut down because I went 2 hours arguing with this guy. This is why I need a job, because my wife was like, if you can sit here for 2 hours and go back and forth with somebody, you need to get effing paid for it.
Well,
But anyways, and so I said, I thought this group was for scammers and stealing product, not because you think you got cheated on shipping. Are you actually trying to argue with me on this? No one should be overcharged customers on shipping. I don't do it. No one else should. How is overcharging on shipping not stealing from someone? Please enlighten me, Mike. Hiking shipping prices is a scam. Okay, I want to tell you the whole outcome of this before I read any more. The guy was complaining about $1.30 overcharge.
That's not even worth it.
Well,
Let's say that I want to sell an item for $100, and whether I put $100 free shipping or $90 and $10 shipping, and I actually everything. I'm guessing the shipping amount anyway. The whole point is you're agreeing to buy this from me for $100, whether I put $90 for the item, $10 shipping, $100 for the item, free shipping. 6 one way, half a dozen another. It doesn't matter. But then you get it, and it was like, oh, it was $90, and actually it only cost me $8 to ship the product. So it was like I didn't gyp you out of $2. I sold you the product for $100.
Right.
So because I don't have the post office, I'm not going to package it up, go to the post office, have them weigh it, and be like, yo, here's how much it's going to cost. Be like, okay, thank you. Let me come back to my house and find out, are you okay with this amount? And then go back to the post office to ship it. That just sounds ridiculous.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of people forget about this, but when I sell on eBay, I factor in things like costs, like packing material, box. That's part out of my pocket. So if I'm going to charge $1 more over the postage, that's because of all the supplies that I bought to get that item safely to the buyer's house.
Okay. Now,
so I think that's reasonable,
46 Zone brought up, and I want to answer this, is the shipping, if the shipping was too high, why did you accept the deal, which would be this guy here?
That's the argument I'm making. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, now here's the thing. It was for 4 figures. These are old 80, like I think they were Master of the Universe and Ghostbuster. It was 3 Masters of the Universe and 1 Ghostbuster toy. They agreed, I bullshit you not on this whole story. They agreed on $14 shipped. So the guy agrees. I have the screenshot still to show he agreed. Okay, yeah, $14 ship. I'll do that deal.
That's a good deal, actually.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
And then he gets the package right to him. He messages the guy. He says, well, hey, these 4 toys are only really worth $9, and you only used so much in shipping, and so you used $3.30. You spent $3.70.
That sounds like a scam artist.
Yeah, because they agreed on shipped price and all, kit and caboodle, $14.
And then
because the guy saw the pictures, right, of the figures.
Yeah, he's seen the pictures.
If it was just like, hey, Mike, I'm going to sell you my Generations Armada, Starscream or something, and you're like, is it in pretty good condition? Yeah, it's in really good condition. And then you get it, and you never saw any pictures of it, and you got it, and it was all yellow and stuff like that. You'd be like, yo, this isn't exactly what you told me,
Right.
Like that's what you saw pictures, you agreed on price.
Yep.
Why are you bothering me?
Exactly. And this is the whole point that I get. And I argued, they shut down, I bullshit you not, 3 threads that me and this guy were going at it. Because he kept on saying that this really shows your character and blah, blah, this. And I'm like, you don't understand is that you're coming in this group that no one else can see besides us. and you're wanting us to blacklist somebody because of what you said, but you don't want to show me
He
proof.
should be the one that's blacklisted because that's a scam to me.
Yeah.
Well, here's the funny part: is that one of the original people who started this group, who has stepped down, mind you, and is no longer a administrator of this group. But of course, he goes, "What the actual F? All this stops now. We are here to inform each other of issues. If someone is overcharging by even $1, it's bullshit. Not everyone just has the money to throw around. All the bullshit bashing stops now." This dude, they could kick me out of this group as far as I'm concerned, and I will start the NWO version of it. But my point being is that I will not let someone, and I don't care who they are, don't come in here and expect us to blackball somebody without getting the facts corrected straight. If we have, beyond the shadow of a doubt, proof that it was a pure scam, he's a scam artist, then yes, I'll block him. But you're talking about, and mind you, again, this is actually, he's the only one that has issues with these people. He's the one, he posts these like, "Oh, well, I bought something from this person. They're a dick. We need to get rid of it. We all need to know about it."
Yeah, and you can't do that. You can't do that without hearsay. Yeah,
exactly. You show me your proof. When I kept saying proof, he kept saying, "I ain't got to show you proof." Even one of the moderators of that group said, "Yeah, you know what? Some screenshots would be nice to see." So I messaged the guy in question, and I said, "Hey, so-and-so is bashing you in our private little group that we bash people on." I said, "But he refuses to show the screen shares of everything." So he sends me all the screen shares. I go in there, and I throw it up there in a whole new thread. Here's the proof. Our little crybaby friend here is arguing about $1 and effing 30 cents.
I don't understand
seriously.
why someone would even waste their time even to argue.
I wasted 2 hours. I wasted 2 hours of my day.
It's one soda at a convenience store. You can go one day without one soda.
But the point being is that, if I didn't know you guys, I would still argue and fight just till I found out the truth. I'm not going to sit there and go and kick this person out of my groups that I admin because you said so. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Agree.
I mean, if he sits there and he showed me the proof where this guy wouldn't, who's part of the damn group? Who's supposed to be here to protect other people from being scammed? But you don't want to show proof, but you just want to sit here and bitch about your own issues with the guy. Now, this went on for 2 hours. It was a couple of the moderators. They actually messaged me and told me that I was not really in the wrong, but they're like, let it go. We'll figure this out. And I told them, I said, we need to have more rules in place. If you're going to sit here and say so-and-so did this, you need to show screenshots. You need to show proof before we sit here.
Yep.
Right.
Well, that
back your
needs to be
shit up.
shown during the initial allegation.
Exactly. And dude, I tell you, I went so.
If you don't have the proof, then you don't even bring it up. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I even told the guy, I said, you know what, you're nothing but a little rookie. Oh, I'm not a new member. Dude, your membership was December 29th of 2018. I've been in this group for over 2 years. I know. I'm telling you, you need to show us something. I'm not going to go off of your word because, for starters, I don't know you. I don't like you. And I didn't vote for you. And I told him that. And he, of course, now, with that being said, that happened on Monday.
Mike, always making friends fast.
I am. I really am.
Such a friendly fellow.
That happened on Monday. Wednesday, he comes in there. His exact words, well, huh? Guess he wasn't such a great guy after all. And this is Sal Rivez in the Vintage Toys and Action Figure group. And he shows where he got one of these little shark puppets. You remember these, Josh? They're an 80s toy, like Shark Attacks, where you put your hand there like a little puppet, and they had the mouth and the rubber pieces and everything. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I believe.
Oh, it was like Street Sharks?
Yes, that's it. Street Shark. That's what they were. And
The
anyway,
diesel.
and okay, so they show the picture on the right, and it shows the shark. He has a big hole in his nose. It's like the nose is gone. And he says, this dude, talking about the same guy we've already had this conversation about, Jonathan, this dude got me face palm to the face, I understand that, and blocked me. Didn't mention my man had effed up nose. I guess it's my fault for not asking for a close-up picture. But why block me, Jonathan? Relax, I don't give an F, but since you blocked me for no reason. So he shows the picture of the shark that he has in hand now. He shows his conversation where the first thing you see is the hand waving at you. Price on turtles and shark. Jonathan puts up thumbs up. He goes, except the rat. All I received is except rat. He says Splinter, the naked rat, which, okay, talking about naked rat. And the biker mice I don't need. Apparently it was a lot.
Yeah.
So the only thing this guy
those
posted,
are different properties.
so this guy posted 3 pictures of that conversation, which at the very end it says, I'll take the shark. He says $45 question mark. That's all he shows. He doesn't show anything else. The picture that he had up there for when he was selling it, none of that. So again, we get into another. The first thing he tags the 2 administrators and then the 1 founding member who's no longer an administrator. Same guy from the same cell, ripping someone else off. Where's the conversation? I say, where's the conversation that he says happened? There's no proof. Where's the conversation he had with the guy that he said, hey, you didn't show me that there was a hole in the nose of this thing. I want my money back or something. And I say that. Then Lenny, who really doesn't have, my opinion, he doesn't have an argument because he's not an administrator. Guys, please just don't. I'm asking you both. And I said, look, if he is going to start this again on the same guy and again not showing but a one-sided story, he has it out for this guy. And
why are these 2 people even doing business together for a second time anyway?
Well, no, it's not him doing business with him. It's someone else who posted a thread about it. But the point being is that he's not. They're not showing the full conversations. And according to the guy who had the issue, he didn't show no conversation besides him saying, "Hey, I'll give you $45 for that." Now, granted, that one was shut down fast. After 7 comments, they shut that one down. Let's see if I still have it. Reached out to Jonathan again.
They shut down stuff a lot for a group that's supposed to be discussing these things.
Yeah.
Well, I have to.
It's counterproductive.
Right, but they don't like because we were arguing. So here's the thing I have where he shows me where he got the message that said $45 question mark. And the guy says, sorry, which figure? Splinter again. All the turtles except the Splinter, and I want the shark. And the shark, as you can see here, is and you can see it plain as day. I'll even show you. I'll send you all the pictures. You can see that there's a hole as plain as day in the figure of the figure. And that was all he showed me. And then I said, I posted this where you can see the nose is missing, and he says, I'll take it. Okay, I said, well, I'll pass it along. I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. And he says, lots of people were getting my back and saying he needs to be. See, apparently, Fussy the Fusser is having issues in said group with this guy, Jonathan, now. And I'm not part of that group, but it's a regular group. And he says, hey, well, they tell him, look, you're really, nickel and dime $1.30. Come on. But I mean, my opinion is that fuck it. His name's Russ, okay? He's an asshole. Can't stand the son of a bitch. And I wish I could find out where he lived at and I go smack the shit out of him. But I mean, when you sit here and you badmouth people like that over the littlest things, granted, I guess maybe I'm doing the same thing, but it just irritates me that you want to bash somebody and then you get maybe someone else to do it just to prove your point. So I don't know. I mean, is it? I mean, from the looks of what y'all have been saying, it sounds like you really kind of agree with me to the degree because, he shouldn't be bashing the guy if he's not going to show the proof.
I think several points to take away is one, you agree on total amount. Doesn't matter what the product is and what the shipping is. You're agreeing on a total amount. All right. Second of all, like we talked about previously, it is your responsibility to look at all the pictures. And if there aren't enough pictures, then ask for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Second, know what you're buying, or third, know what you're buying, This is all stuff that we talked about at the eBay segment.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, if you're going to be a buyer of something, then use some common sense. Like, look at all the pictures, read the descriptions, do some research. If something says it's complete, hey, do a little research, look at a few of them, and be like, okay, this is not complete, or confirm that it is,
And if you're not sure, just don't do it.
Yeah, move on to the next thing. So,
And by the way, no one's going to beat up anybody, so.
No, if you look close enough, I would.
I know, but this is YouTube, so we're not going to no harm to anyone. So
yeah, because then you'd be
talk.
beating someone up over $1.35.
Yeah.
Which is also ridiculous.
I know,
So just as ridiculous as beating someone up over $1.35 is the same as someone arguing and wanting to drag someone else's name through the mud over $1.35. Again, my original point was when you buy something, you're paying for the total cost of it,
including shipping.
Exactly.
You agreed on $14 across the board, total figures and shipping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I honestly think $1.30. When I read it, and then when I knew there wasn't something right about it when he wouldn't show any kind of proof, or basically telling me that my word's good enough. Well, no, it's not, because I don't know you. But then when I said, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. And I said this. I'm going to reach out to this guy and ask him for the proof, since you will not obviously give it to us. And then he starts going, well, I object to, basically is what he was saying. And I think that we need to vote Mike out of this group if he's going to go around telling people what we're saying about in this group. No, these people have a right to know if we're going to bitch about them and falsely accuse them of stuff.
They're an emotional bunch, aren't they? Okay.
This guy is.
Yeah.
There was in the first thread, there was 50 some odd comments, and I think 50 of them were just between me and him. The rest were the administrators telling us to take it back.
This is why I'm not in any groups.
Are you not?
Nope.
Really?
I am. I've got my page, and I think I follow the crowd props where some guy that makes some stuff for cosplay, but that's it. I don't get on forums and chat back and forth with people or be like, that looks cool, or hey, I don't like that or anything, because I haven't for years. Actually, ever since I got in this hobby, I really haven't gotten forums. I don't get in groups.
The thing that I've learned is don't let yourself fall into that hole where you find yourself arguing with someone over and over and over again. It's just
especially over something so trivial as $1.30.
It's just not worth it.
But I guess
I would have asked for the guy's PayPal and said, hey, what's your PayPal so I can send you $1.30 so I don't have to hear from you anymore.
And I think that the payment was sent as goods and services. So the guy actually lost, what is it, 10% almost off the top?
Yeah.
So $1.40. So the guy in the messages he sent me, the fussy guy tells him, well, I want to file a claim with eBay or PayPal over it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's not going to work.
All this crying over $1.30. Grow the hell up.
And the reason I argue, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I am, but I just like I told the administrators, is that you asked me to be part of this group for a certain reason. And what good am I if I'm not going to see both sides of the story and give, if this guy was part of my groups, I wouldn't kick him out. But I guarantee you, the guy who started this shit, I went to every group of mine, and he was in one of my groups, and I kicked his ass out.
One other thing is you kind of played because you weren't the buyer, you weren't the seller, you were kind of the mediator, in between these two people. I think that if the person that's in the group that was the buyer, that if they are one of the plaintiffs where they're one of the ones in the argument, then they can know they can't be like, hey, I'm an administrator or I'm in this group, like I'm coming to you as kind of a defendant, like you would in court, So like if a judge, was one of the ones that had a complaint against, another person, they couldn't also be the judge for that same, what do you call it, for that hearing. You'd have to get a different judge, and then they would be the one that's impartial.
Right.
It's like arbitration, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you granted now, and y'all know how I can get and how I get riled up really fast. And when I went to this guy, Josh knows firsthand how riled up I can get. But anyways, and and I came off to him, and I'm like, and I was reasonable with him, and I said, and I asked him questions. I'm like, hey, well, what was it? How much are we talking about? I read the exact conversations, how it went. And he just didn't, he got real defensive really fast because I didn't have his back right off the bat, which I'm not going to have no one's back off of nothing until I get both sides of the story when it comes down to toys and money. I mean, $1.30, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to complain. If it had been, let's say, $3, $4, $5 range, I could see, be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I could see that. I can understand that. I mean,
not me. They agreed to the total price.
You agreed to total price.
Yeah.
Right, but let's say you didn't. Let's say
because here's what I always say is like, hey, $45 shipped. I don't say, hey, $30 for the figures and $15 shipped. Hey, $45 shipped, right? And that's whenever I buy something from you,
right?
And I'm like, hey, do you want this, Josh? Do you want this boxed or do you want it loose? If it's something that, hey, it's loose, just in a package. And what do I always ask? What is the total shipped? I don't say how much was the figure, how much was the tax, and then like, hey, what's the shipping? I just say, what's the total shipped? It's this amount. All right, PayPal sent. Whenever I get it, I don't like be okay. Now let's see here.
Check that postage.
Your cost is, Mike. What is tax in Arkansas? Let me look at the shipping label and see how much that is, and see if all my math is correct here. Oh, what's total shipped?
Yeah. See, I think what I was getting to on this part was that, take for example, let's say 15 plus shipping, and they say, okay, it's $10 shipping. So $25 shipped because you said it was $10 shipping, but you get the package, but they only spent $5 in shipping. So they told you 10 in shipping, but they only charged you $5. Would you complain for that $5?
Nope, because you agreed to the cost up ahead of time.
If they said $10 shipping, it's more likely it's a guesstimation. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be like, hey, $10. Is that priority? And if they're like, yeah, and then it didn't come priority, I would bring that up. Okay. But if they were just like, like it's something like that, where it's like, look, I paid for priority. You told me I was paying for priority, and you stood the ground. Then I would be like, so just send me back the difference, whatever it is. And even if they didn't, then whatever.
I mean, and then there was something else I was going to tell you about on that end on shipping. It was damn, I didn't forget what I was going to say now. But I mean, there's a lot of people, I guess you can sit there, they get upset over stuff like that. I mean, like you said, we're talking only $1.30. So I mean,
I really hope people are enjoying this or entertained, because I feel like it's ridiculous that we spent this much time talking about $1.30. I don't think I've put this much time in for $1.30 in my life.
Wow.
So
I mean,
just imagine how much time I spent on $1 freaking
that's
30.
why I told you that after like a few conversations with that guy, I would have just asked for his eBay or PayPal and just been like, let me send it to you so I don't have to hear from you for the rest of the day.
Here's a question for you. Hey, a quick question. Justin says here, if they said $10 for shipping and it costs $15, would you send the extra $5 after the fact? And I think, yeah, go ahead. You guys answer.
I've paid more for shipping before, and I just wrote it up to, that's my bad. I should have guessed better.
Same here. Yep.
Yeah.
And I've been burned many times with shipping.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do the same. If they needed, if they thought it was going to be $10, it was going to be more. Yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to be a dick about it and just say, nope, you do it. No, if I need to pay more, I will pay more.
Right. I got you. Okay. All right.
But I would have sent him $1.30 and go get your damn McDouble since you want it so bad. That's
now
what the $1.30 is for.
McDouble's $2.
Whatever. A drink, a candy bar, whatever. Something to obviously make you less cranky.
Yeah, but I've paid for a lot more on shipping before, where it got really hosed because it was just it had to be in a weird size box and or the weight, and it was crossing multiple states to where like I had sold something. It was a Batman Returns Wayne Manor of the Kenner playset, and I think I had it on there for free shipping, but I figured that it would cost me probably about $15 to ship, and that I saw that they were going for about $50. So I was like, all right, 65, free shipping. And that sucker cost me like $35 a ship. So.
Yeah, and I think this Justin, who's I don't think it's his last. I think it's the same Justin I've dealt with before. A guy named Justin. I was kind of like his mule for JoeCon, and while we were in Florida at Disney World 2 years ago, and he lives out in California, and I didn't want to fly all this stuff back home with me, trying to find room for it, make sure to get broken. And so the hotel had a shipping department there, and of course, huh?
Like shipping from the convention? Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. They didn't have their own shipping department there. It was the hotel's shipping itself. But anyways, I went there. I boxed it all up. I took it over there. I took all the items. They quoted a price from Walt Disney World in Orlando. This went out to all the way to California, almost about San Francisco, I think. It was like $98 to ship it.
Ouch.
And I messaged him and I said, hey, here's the shipping charge from where I'm at to you. And I can ship it right now from the convention. And he was like, he asked how much it was, and I told him. And next thing I know, there was my PayPal account. He didn't hesitate one bit. Those are kind of the better ones.
And I remember that, this, because it just sounds like something Dakota would do. I think we were at a convention, and he went to go look and see what he had bought so much stuff that he went to go see what shipping all these Transformers back to his house what cost at the convention. Is like, oh my god, that's way too high. So we wanted to go to a separate like shipping center, which was like just a couple blocks down the road, and still quite a bit because it would have to be these big boxes. This dude ended up shipping back his laundry and then packing all his toys in his suitcases.
No, that was Barrett.
Oh, that was Barrett. Yeah, that was Barrett.
BlackCon 2016.
Dakota's probably done it before too.
$200 or more to ship it.
It was the Fort Max he bought.
Yeah,
the G1
Fort Max. I was like, dude, that's gonna cost so much to ship.
It was $600. It was $600 to ship all the toys. So just ship clothes.
He shipped the clothes and he packaged all the toys into suitcases and took it on as his carry-on.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cost him more money to ship his toys than it would have been for the clothes. I remember that now. That was Barrett.
It cost more than Fort Max itself.
But you know what? That does sound like something Dakota would do too, though.
Yeah. Well, I said wrong, Justin. Yeah.
Okay, I would have paid regardless. There was a lot of places I went to where I would go to post offices and ship people's stuff to where I'd have to mess with it. Like if like I split the golden ticket, so I'm like, okay, I'm splitting. I want to ship your stuff out as soon as I get it, so I ain't got to deal with the rest of the convention. And I did that a lot. So I was in Florida, but. Okay, this is Justin. He stayed with us in the room at JoeCon. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember JoeCon that much. Now that I think about it. Justin, were you in the room? You were my mule in Colorado, I think. Have I told you all the story of what happened to me at JoeCon? Where I was sleeping in the dead of night and I woke up and someone was on top of me?
No. I don't think so, but I think I'm gonna have to get off here pretty soon because I've been up for what is it now, 27 hours. So
okay, I'll save that story for another time. It's actually a funny story. So, all right, we're going to get off here. Just so people know, if you're into Toy Fair reveals and toys and reviews and stuff, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be doing a live. Well, Josh, you go and tell people about it.
Basically, the non-Transformers stuff. Only action figures. So your Marvel Legends, your Star Wars, your DC collectibles, Master of the Universe, Play Art Sky, Hot Toys, Sideshow collectibles. All that stuff that's NECA, McFarlane, all the stuff that's action figure related. We're going to be taking a look at all those reveals from Toy Fair tomorrow, 3 p.m. Standard Time.
And that is on the G1 Hextron channel, where you can also find tonight's earlier show of the New York toy reviews we did for Transformers.
Yeah.
As well as the last 2 weeks of action figure news. And that show will probably run, at least a good 3 hours?
Yeah, I think we can get it done in 3.
Yeah, usually on the special shows we go about 3 hours on. So be sure to check that. Oh God.
Yeah, I think
I'm too old for a 5-hour show.
I think we can get it done in probably 3.5 at the most. Can you post a link to the channel?
Yeah, 46 Zone. Hit me up on Facebook, and I'll send you the link to his channel. Or actually, go underneath my channels, subscribe viewers that I subscribe to, and it's on there. It's like the little baby star scream or something picture.
How do I even get on my?
Now we're going to try to try that. I can get off that page. I'll get it if he can't. Are you looking to do it, Josh?
Yeah, I'm about to here.
But yeah, and then of course we do. Whenever we don't have just another GI Joe show, I'll be on Josh's channel with Cybercast, And usually, sometimes we'll do Galactic Gumbo after that, which is an all nerd talk show. So if you guys want to go over there and if you guys want to go over there and check out his channel and stuff of that nature, we can get y'all on there. Like I said, I know a lot of the guys on here are Transformer fans as well, so usually get a lot of Transformer news talk over there as well as joking around.
Oh yeah, that should be it.
Did you put it in there?
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
If you just went on YouTube and just put in the search bar G1 Hexatron, then
It'll be one of the first things that pops
yeah,
up.
it's going to be the first thing. It's the channel, so.
Okay, that's fine. But anyways, thanks for people who did watch. I'll be back on next week on Just Another G.I. Joe show. Hopefully Fred will make it back. Still looking for a topic for next week's show, but I already have 2 weeks out from that, which is going to be a very good episode. A previous head honcho from Hasbro will be on, not Bobby. So if people were thinking it was Bobby, it's not going to be Bobby. But I do appreciate everyone who watched tonight and who will watch later on. I do thank Dalton, Josh, and Sport for jumping on tonight, keeping me entertained, keeping me in line. Maybe not as much as keeping me in line, but that's okay. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We appreciate it.